Hello everyone, we welcome you on our webinar. Today we'll talking about the customer journey. So our main topic is customer journey mapping from the first contact to decision making. Our webinar will be extremely practical. So let's get started. My name is Pavel Klimenko. I am the lead Omnichannel manager in VISEVEN company, the person who is responsible for the journey building and everything about the Omnichannel, working with the channel, with the content, with the journeys, and so on. So agenda is pretty simple and straightforward. We will have minimum theory and the maximum of practice. So in practice part, we will create a customer journey together with you in a real-time mode. Just a couple words, this kind of tiny part of the series of the theory. What is customer journey in our communication, let's say, sense? It's some scenario, pre-built scenario of interactions with our users, with our subscribers, with our HCP patients, and so on. So some specific set of channels, and our main goal is to broadcast the message that will move our users, our customers toward our goals. And there we can distinguish 5 main principles, which lies on the basis of each journey. The first one is clear goal setting. From the very beginning, to get something specific, something concrete, we need to set this goal up front from the very beginning, what we're trying to achieve with our communication, with our journey. Second one is the segmentation. The more specific our audience will be, which we will like to deliver a message to, the better we'll get the result. So sending all the message to all database, in most cases, not so good idea. So we need to be more specific and to deliver our message more precisely. Personalization, also the third main principle, that the message that we're trying to deliver should be the most relevant to this particular person, this particular user. Automation, because it's a lot of things going on, a lot of channel, a lot of messages, a lot of this kind of sophisticated stuff. So it really cannot be done by hands all the time. And so we need to automate as much as possible. Everything that is repeatable, everything that is can be automated, should be automated. And the last 5th principle is variability. So it's in the nature of the journey itself that from the very beginning we need to set up different kind of scenarios, not only if the user register. What will we do if the user doesn't register? If the user will not go to our website? What kind of additional logic we have for such kind of users? So this is 5 main principles of the journey building. And generally, what's the idea when we're talking about the journey building and the journey itself in the communication sense is to deliver the right message to the right people at the right time, through the right channel, with the right context. So find out from the very beginning what will be the right message. It's also corresponding to the principle of personalization. Right people corresponding to the principle of segmentation. Right time, it's also kind of some additional technologies like send and time optimization help us to deliver it at the right time. The right time for us, it's a time when we have the maximum chance that our message would be open, it would be clicked, and the user will interact with our communication. Right channel, what is more suitable and convenient for the subscriber, for our user, in which we have the most chances to be heard. And the last one, the right, take into the account the right context, the good experience of the context. I think all the situation around COVID-19 is a pretty good example how this outstanding context can really influence our agenda, our messages, and our plans. So now we would like you to be participated in the choosing of what kind of journey we will build with you. So now you will see in your screen as a couple of options of different journey, and please vote what kind of journey you would like us to build together right now. Okay, please, who is not currently voted, please do it. Okay, so I will share the result with you. So, oh my God, we have this tight series for the registration for the webinar and the registration on the company web portal. It's really equal situation, so we need to choose one. I don't know. So let's go with the webinar, registration on the webinar, journey building, and let's get to straightforward to the practice. We will use for our journey building, we will use the marketing automation tool that is called Salesforce Marketing Cloud. There you can use different kind of tools for the journey building. The main need for us here is that this tool should have this journey builder functionality. So we'll press start new journey, multi-step journey. We'll name it webinar registration. Oh my God. Yeah. So you see here the journey builder functionality in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and so we'll start from the very beginning. Let's suppose that we create some segment, subsegment, or some part of our database that we would like to send our communication, our invitation to. So I just kind of, for the demo purpose, we'll choose some segment. Run once. Okay, so initially we will send the, so in order to have the people on our webinar, we need to invite them. So we call this the first, let's choose it, some demo purposes, some kind of email. At that point, we should have all our content ready. And let's call also this kind of first initial email invitation 1. So that will be our first email in which we will send the link to the registration page to all our potential registrant participants, and we'll encourage with all our text, with all our call to action inside our email to register on our webinar. So this first kind of invitation email, we will send it, and after that we will, let's say, give some time to our contacts to register. We will give them 2 days, and even before sending their first invitation email, we can do some more advanced stuff. So remember that we have previously discussed delivering the right message to the right people at the right time. So the technology in this case can help us to deliver it really in the right time. And the right time for us, it will be the element inside the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, which calls Einstein CTO. It's a send time optimization. So based on the previous history of our sendings, we suppose that we have such history with our users, with our subscribers. We have the data about the activity, about the opening our mail, in which time they usually opens our email. So the algorithm sees this data and trying to analyze it, and will help us to send the email in the best optimal time for this particular user. So we'll drag and drop this element before our first initial invitation email and put it there. We can go into the element itself, and here we can choose the time frame in which we would like to send our communication. So let's do it within the 24 hours, within the 1 day. So we'll activate the journey, and after that the users will go to this element, and this elements only pass the user to their first email in the time in which it considered as the best optimal time for this particular user. So for each user, the optimal time will vary for each particular groups inside of our segment. Okay, after that we send the email and give the 2 days for our users in order to open, to click it, and to register to our portal, to our webinar. Okay, so after that we can do what we can do. We can check did each particular user at least open our email, give us at least a chance or not to be registered. So we choose the opens as a metrics, our main metric for our email. So the system will check after 2 days, will check did this particular user open our email or not. And also, do you remember also this the fifth principle of all journey building is the principle of variability. So we need really to, in each main steps, in each main kind of part of our journey, we need to put the logic that is in 2 words. We can call this logic if. What if not? What if he's not open, if he's not registered, what we will do? So in this case, we will have some part of our users of our segment who is not willing to open. Maybe there were too much emails in his inbox, and he just cannot see our email, or maybe he is on some vacations, on it something other. Some other reasons that is kind of interfering of his open our emails. So what we can do pretty easily, we can use the same message, but what we can do, we can change the subject and the preheader of this email. So we'll just kind of copy the existing email. So we don't need even to create a new piece of content that will cost us some kind of effort, some money. We'll just use the same. Let's call it 2.0, and let's call this to 1.1, and this 1.2, and we just go to the inside of this element, and here we'll just change the subject and the preheader. So we go and hit, and let's say that we have some other subject. We will specify other subject here, and also there we can specify here the some kind of preheader. We will not do it now for the demo purpose, but you understand that here we can put this preheader. So we're trying not just the same subject and preheader for this message. It's really easy for us to change it. But if maybe our first initial, maybe the reason of non-opening of our email initially, our first one-to-one email, was that the user was not so attracted by our subject and preheader. Maybe we should try something else and give some other words that will convince our subscriber at least to open our email and give us some chances to convince him to register. So we changed here the subject to a new one. Okay. So after that, let's go to the logic, to the stop logic, that everything is fine, that everything is good, and we have our user registered to the not registered but open our mail. So what we can do after that? We can try to, okay, he is opened his email, but did he really register it or not? We suppose that we have some kind of integration with our chosen webinar platforms that we use for conducting different kind of the online events. So we will use such element in Salesforce Marketing Cloud that is called decision split. And as I told you, we have this data. Let's assume that we have this data. It's good to have this data at least. And we will go to this some data. Just pick the random sources here, for example, this one. And we suppose that we have this yes about the registration. Oh, no, sorry. Let's give it one. Yeah. One is for registered. So the first one would be for registered, and the last one will be not registered. Okay. Done, and he will call it registration. Registration. So here on this element, we will check for each particular user, did he registered on our webinar or not. So if he registered to the webinar, everything is okay for now. He's registered. What should we do after that? We can send him different kind of this reminders about the webinar itself. Yeah, for example, we'll take the existing message. Yeah, let's get here. And for example, our webinar will be on, let's say 26th of November. So we will send him the reminder or day before the webinar. Let's say that we will pass this kind of stuff in the 6 a.m. But what we can do, we can once again choose this kind of Einstein activity. Let's choose it 12 hours. So that also would give us the, after that, sorry, see here. And here is a reminder, the reminder one. It will be the reminder one, as it will give the link to our to broadcast and reminds that our webinar will be tomorrow. After that, we can also kind of give the once again this wait until date. and let's kind of send the reminder the one at the morning of the day of the webinar. The day of the webinar, we have the 26th of November, so we'd say it, send it in the morning. Let's say we'll go with 10 a.m. 10 a.m. and here we'll have the reminder too. Let's save it just in case. Okay, great. And so let's continue our kind of this. And so after that, we will need the one more reminder. Let's have the reminder 1 hour before the webinar, just before the webinar. So let's go with another. Oh no, let's go with copy it. Here we put the wait until date. Oh, not that one. Wait until date, and okay, and let's do it 26. Let's assume that our webinar will be at at 5 p.m. Yeah, and here will be the reminder 3. Sorry, not 5. Yeah, let's say if you have the webinar on 5 p.m., let's remind our users at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Yeah, so the 1 hour before the webinar, it will be the reminder 3. And okay, and after this, let's also assume that once again, go back to the principle of variability, that we should really try to cover different kind of scenarios of our actions of our users. And let's assume that maybe some users, some part of our segment, some part of our database, or that we're trying to invite to our webinar, they really didn't pay attention to the email at all. Busy day, a lot of work, so they forget about the email and miss all our kind of this couple of emails. So, and let's also assume that we have additional channel that we can use, and this channel is SMS. Yeah, so let's kind of do one kind of things. Let's after this kind of we send the second short reminder. We will wait a little bit and wait just. Sorry, just see what's this one, and wait. Not days, but minutes. 45 minutes. Okay, wait 45 minutes, and after that, what we will do, we will check. In this case, what is most important for us, that we in kind of this 2 emails, or even 3 emails, day before the morning and 1 hour before our actual start time, 5 p.m., that we all these emails has a link to our broadcast itself, and the link goes to the broadcast, and some kind of maybe some what is important for us too, that we will need to check did actually our users click the link, follow the link, and goes to the broadcast page. So what we can do, we can after that 24 minutes. Okay, let's We will go with the check. So engagement split, we can also use it for the check purpose, but it only gives us one email that we should choose that we would like to check. And we will go once again for the decision split, and decision split will give us the ability to use some system tables that there, in our case, Salesforce Marketing Cloud is holding. And this kind of this system table with the data give us all the data about the clicks in some emails. So in that data, we will choose their particular state opens clicks or not clicks. We'll check it in a couple of emails. I will not go into all this kind of deep into the details in this particular data extension, but just kind of believing that it's possible. We do it in practice that we goes and we will check all 3 emails. Let's give this click it, and not click it. Clicked, not clicked, not clicked. Okay. Click and not click. So, and what we will do after that, so the for those users who did not click to our link that is following to the broadcast itself, we will send some SMS message. Yep. With some text. Let's assume that we already created some. Not created. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's leave it like this. SMS reminder. Sorry. Sorry, some issues with the tool. Yeah, not all the. Let's do it quickly. Not all our changes, unfortunately, saved, but we'll do it quickly for the decision splits after the second reminder. Some data here. Yeah, we're checking for this. Click it for in all emails. Clicked, not clicked. Clicked, not clicked. Okay. Save. And let's quickly restore our SMS activities. So let's go in here. For 25 minutes, let's not forget about the wait activity. And here we'll put the 35 minutes. Okay, let's save it. Okay, SMS SMS reminder. Okay, so after, let's copy some existing email. So after this kind of reminders we'll have the webinar itself, the broadcast itself, and after this we'll wait for 1 day for this broadcast, and we'll also kind of have this have the decision split in which we will check for the attendee who attended on our webinar who is not. We also suppose that we have some kind of integration and this data is flowing back to our marketing automation platform. And we will use this data in order to check attendee statuses. Attended, not attended, not attended. Okay, save. So we're doing this in purpose of splitting the logic for follow-ups. So the first for follow-ups, we also can use the Einstein send time optimization to send it in the best time within the 24 hours. So this will be follow up 1. And this will be the follow-up 2 for not attendees. We can save it. So actually here we built our main kind of logic, our main branch of our logic. That was the element we have here, register it. Some unknown element was added to our journey. Let's get rid of it. Okay, now we can delete it. Yeah, it's good now. So we have this unconnected, not connected branches with the SMS. Some people who are receiving the SMS, and we'll just connect it to our existing. Yeah, here. So we'll connect it here to the main logic. Here 1 day, we don't need 1 day. Here, yeah. So we connected there. All who is receiving the SMS also will go back to the main logic, and after that also will receive the. We'll also use this Einstein here. Also will receive. Yeah. Like this, also receives the attended or non-attended version of the follow-up emails follow-up. Okay. Okay, so we build the main logic, and after that we can go to our additional branches that was not finalized, and let's kind of try to finalize our branches that is about the non-registered, non-openness, and so on. So in this kind of situation, when we send in the second version of the first initial email with a new subject and new pre-header to those who did not open our email, we also after that can we'll also give them, for example, a couple of days to open it and to register, and also after that we'll use this element of joining, and we'll join this to the registration check-in. So if the person did not open the email on this kind of state, we'll send him one more email and wait a couple of days and go into the main logic, follow the main logic, put him on the main logic here, and we'll check for registration. So those two emails should give us a chance to registration. But we also have some unclosed branches about the persons and about the part of our audience who is not willing to register it. So we are supposed that they open our emails, but somehow did not register it. Maybe we don't put the right words inside of our emails. Our call to actions was not good enough, and we need to try something else, some new call to action, some new words that will convince our audience to register finally. So in this case, we need to prepare the new version of our email, not just the same email, but with a new subject line and pre-header. So we'll create the new email with the new call to actions that we will try different approach in convincing our subscribers to register to our webinar. Okay, so here we'll put this version. Let's call this version invitation 2.1, second version, and also we'll give a couple of days to register, person to register, and we also in this kind of branch we will try to check did they really register it or not. So we'll copy, and here will be our decision splits. Yep. So register it, and who's registered, and we also connecting them to our main logic. We can delete it. Save, just in case. Okay. So we'll connect them right here to the weight element. And the last branch for us is the person, some part of our audience who still, after all our efforts, after all our emails, they're not willing to register it. And in this case, in most scenarios, it's not the good practice to continue to convince them, continue to bombarding them with a different kind of additional emails. So we'll just can leave them be. And what can we do? We can, for example, mark these users using the update contact element. So we'll just add for these users additional attributes to the contact card, to this user attributes that this user didn't want registered. But somehow, maybe we'll in future work with them in some new way, some kind of additionally using some other channels and so on, just to mark them as not so willing to register it. And of course, for example, after a couple of webinars, if we see that the same users not willing to register in different our activities, in different our webinars, it's really the case maybe to do something else, maybe to ask them why they're not willing to register. Maybe all our topics, all our subjects of our webinars, it's not relevant to them, and we need to segment them separately and offer them something different in this case. So in general, we are more or less done with our logic. So together with you, we built webinar invitation and registration journey in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So, and now I suppose if you will have any kind of question, please kind of ask. You can use our chat or our questionnaire functionality to ask any kind of question, or also it is possible you can raise your hand, use this functionality, raise your hand, and we will unmute you, and you will be able to ask any questions by voice. So I encourage you to ask questions. What maybe you will have some additional details that you would like to figure out. Just a moment. Irina, maybe you have some question. You raise your hand, so I unmuted you. You can ask your question. No? We have one question about the can you please just zoom back over the end part so we can see it again? Okay. End part. The zooming not so good here. So just the end part, yeah. So Gustav, is it good enough for you? Okay. Any additional questions? Maybe something need to be clarified about our journey, about the approach that we use. Is there any training for that? Interesting question. So you can write, we can discuss it really with you if you want any kind of help or support for some of our assistance in consultants in building the journey. Please contact our by email, and we will try to discuss it with you with more in more specific way. Yes, yes, okay. I will just give me a second. Okay, I just in the chat, I suppose you see the email. It's my working email. You can contact me, and after that we'll decide how to help you with your request. Okay, any other questions? Irina, I think I somehow missed or deleted your question. Can you please repeat it by using the chat or by voice if you want?
Oh, thanks. I understand it. You explained it before, and you just sent it. Read the message. So I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay. As per segment, can we build the chart in different way? I'm not sure that Firas, I'm not sure that I follow your question. As per segment, can we build the chart in different way? What exactly do you mean about the different way? What about the segment? Can you please maybe try to rephrase or add some details to your questions? Yes, I can, and I will try to just give me a second. I will try to unmute you. Yeah, I mute you. You can ask your question by voice, please.
Hi, it's a pleasure. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the meeting. I'm saying that can we build the chart in different way according to the customers segments, according to the different type of customer, different specialty of customers. Can we always build it in different way, or just one module, it will be more than enough? Can we copy paste the chart, or it's better to always keep a variation between the things?
Yes, we can copy a different part of our journey of all these elements. And if I understand you right, you mean can we from the very beginning try to split the logic based on, for example, specialty?
Yes.
And for example, send one kind of invitation to cardiologist, let's say, the second part of versions of invitation and reminders emails to the gastroenterologist and so on. Yeah, something like that.
Not the way. There is 2 to 3 kinds or 4 kinds of segments that we have usually in our company. Even they are cardiologists or neurologists, whatever. There is a segment, okay, like people that like to get emails more, people they like to get influenced by social media, people they like to get influenced by face-to-face. These kind of segments. Can we build the logic in different way from segment to segment? It's much better, or you believe it's one one chart it's all good for all?
Actually, yes, of course, technically we can do not maybe everything, but we can do it. For example, if we, let's say from the very beginning, understand some difference inside our audience. So let's assume that we have some segments that we would like to invite to our webinars, yeah, and inside of this segment we have different micro segment, different parts based on the different attributes, for example, specialty, preferred channel, or something like that. What we can do, we can decide. One way is to build separate journey for each this particular segment, or we can go with the one more advanced, more sophisticated journey. So let's assume, for example, that from the very beginning we'll put this decision split elements, and we will just have different different logic for different parts of our segment. Let's go, for example, some on purpose here, some let's assume that it's kind of specialty, that is specialty 1. We have this attribute in our database here that about the specialty or about the preferred channel, something like that, and we will here's a specialty A. Oh, sorry. Let's go just with A specialty, this B specialty. Let's go, and we will just have different kind of logic, maybe different emails for this different specialty. And what we can do, we, for example, build the main logic for the specialty A, and we can what we can do, we can go with the copy, let's say, and let's they cannot copy the joining ones. Okay, so let's maybe rejoin. So we'll just for copy purposes we'll rejoin it. Just for a moment after that we can join it again. So we'll go with the copy. Something like this. Yeah, copy. Yeah. Okay, now we can delete it. So we'll have the same copied logic here, and we can after that adjust it to according to our needs. For example, that we assume that this kind of group microsegment inside of our initial segment will need to have the different approach for them, different content and so on. And we can have a lot of these separate branches based on some criteria, some attributes in our database.
Yes. Yes.
It's really it's up to us. Kind of the main question here is what we're trying to achieve. We try to achieve in most cases the most engagement level. So what data do we have? And if we have some this data in which using which we can split the logic, and we believe based on our experience, based on our knowledge of our audience, that this split and different approach, different content, different channels, maybe for this 2 parts or 3 parts of our audience will give us the benefit in engagement, in the registration, in opens and click. Of course, we can go with this more sophisticated logic. I hope that I answered your question.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Okay, let's go to the questionnaire once again in different way. Yeah. Okay, if any questions left unanswered, please kind of ask. If there are no questions, so I thank you for your attention, for your patience, for your time. Take care and stay safe.